Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the second episode of Chasing the Card. I'm James Pratt with our co-host, Big Poppy, Alex Arguelles. And today we have Mikayla Adair, bikini competitor, power lifter, mom, full-time employee. We've got a lot of content, a lot of questions to get to, so let's bring her on. Now let's go back just a little bit, and because I want to make sure that I heard you right, Mikayla. Why did you like the Texas look better?
I liked everything about the Texas looked better because I think we kind of grew into my prep a little bit. So we kind of got to know like what my body responded to. So as I got leaner, we figured out how to make me look fuller towards the end.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
Is that what you bring? Hey, that's a good. So what did you do? How did you get fuller? I mean,
literally, so it turned out like if I had too much fat, I would spill over. So it started to look a little watery. So it was literally Chick-fil-A. Like that was my thing.
Now when you say Chick-fil-A, are you eating the nuggets? Are you eating the sandwiches?
No,
I get. Look, we always get a number one with no pick. But what is that? What you're eating?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah, and like in prep, you can put it away pretty good, right? Like,
you put it away quick.
So good.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, for me personally, I would always have, when we were in the show, I would, I'd be very strict on my diet.
Mm-hmm.
But then after prejudging, that's when I would go and have my cheat meal.
Yep.
I'd have my, my hamburger and fries and get it down. Is that how you do it, or how do you do yours?
Yes. So depending on how I'm looking the night before, we might even go like a bunless burger type thing the night before. Sweet potato fries, it's a big one that we do. But yeah, that's really it. And then sometimes if I feel like it, in between prejudging and the night shows, whenever I would be able to have like what you're saying, that's when we would normally do my little Chick-fil-A thing because it looks good in the pictures. But it does. But
hey, you got to find what, as long as you find what works for your body and fills you out, because what works for you may not work for me or somebody.
Exactly. We'll go eat and then I take a nap and then that's it.
You come back to rest and just kind of chill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the best naps.
Oh yeah. Well, you know how it is when you're up in prep. You get up early. You're up super early because I'm always going through my routine. I'm going through everything I've got to do. I've got to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
hey, let me ask you this: how can people find you for coaching?
I do a lot through my Instagram. Princess Mikayla Fit. Princess. Yeah.
Now, are you sponsored by anybody right now? Are you looking for sponsors?
Kind of both. I am teamed up with Angel Competition Bikinis in first form. So I get basically a discount code and kickbacks on that. But, with a sport like this, you can never have too many sponsors.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Let me ask you this. If a young lady is coming in, wants to compete in a bikini competition, I mean, how would you advise her? What would you tell her how to get involved? What do you think that she would need to do? What do you think about that? How would you guide her?
Well, pretty easily. I mean, there's one thing that I would always tell somebody, probably two really, that are wanting to compete. And one would be make sure you're in a spot with yourself that this isn't going to destroy you. Because you're going up on a stage and you're the leanest you've ever been. You're probably looking the best you've ever been. And somebody's going to tell you that it's not good enough. And even the girl that wins, somebody's going to say that's not good enough, that you're going to have to work harder, do more. And for a lot of young ladies, I feel like that can damage them. And so unless there's a good foundation of, I guess, knowledge of their self-worth and knowing that these are 5 strangers that don't know who you are, it could very easily be a problem. But if they're in a good spot, then definitely hire a good coach. Find somebody that knows what to do. Don't try to do it by yourself because that's how people get messed up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any of your clients that are going to be competing soon? Do you have any clients that are going to be competing soon?
I do.
How far out are they?
21 weeks. So they haven't quite started their cuts yet.
Gotcha.
So,
What show are they doing? Are they doing the Joe Wilson show?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And what show is that again? What's it called?
The Northwest Arkansas Naturals.
Northwest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a great show. That's a great show to get your feet wet, to get started. That's a great show to do.
That was my first show.
That was your very first show?
Yes, the 12 weeks out one. Yeah.
That was supposed to be my first show.
Yeah.
When I was back in the day trying to start prep, I guess I had taken a pre-workout that had some substance in it that I had like a 6-month wait period or something. So I had to pick a show all the way back in August.
Yep. That stinks. That list is long of the banned substances.
Yeah, it's a long list, and you really have to keep up with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of things in pre-workouts that you're not allowed to take, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for your physique this year, I kind of want to get back on that. Are you going to try to come in softer then? Do you want to come in a little softer? Because to me in Texas, you were hard. You looked great. I mean, you looked hard. I couldn't, I just thought that was a great package. So I didn't know if really you want to try to bring it down just a little, or
no. I think that's exactly the composition I'm going for.
That's what you're going to
that,
go for.
But with more muscle.
More muscle.
The girl that won that one in second place, they both definitely had probably a solid 5 to 10 pounds on me, which, it is what it is, but that's why we take time off. Yeah.
That's right. That's why we have off season to make our adjustments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah, you should be. You're gonna have a great 2020. It's gonna be phenomenal. If you could say to anybody, what would be a really good positive that you've gone through in your bikini competitions, and maybe a negative? What would be? Could you talk about that? What do you think would be a good positive and a negative that you've gone through?
I don't think I can think of a negative off the top of my head. I know that sounds really weird, but I think it's brought a lot to my life. In the gym, obviously, it's brought me my career now, kind of what I do, and even the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, it gives me something to focus on. That's for me, and it's not for anybody else. So it's my thing.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that we need to have that. So I don't have a negative, but yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear a lot of people talk about, going through contest prep is hard. You're starving yourself. But to me, I get a little grumpy, but I love going through the process. Yeah. I love watching my body change.
Yeah, it's actually fun.
So it is fun, and that's the way you got to make it. So I don't see that as a negative. I think that's a positive. I think it's a great thing to go through.
It's cool. It kind of gives you appreciation for everything else, because it sounds really weird, but when you have the option to make yourself hungry to lose weight, it kind of gives you an appreciation for like people that they don't get to eat, like it's a real thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people really struggle in the off season, as far as I'm talking about myself, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to eat so much, and we get tired of eating. And, to me, that's a little bit harder. Now, is that the same for you? Do you have to eat so much to where you're gaining weight, or you can just cruise right through it?
Well, I think last year I stuck to it 100%. Like I never stopped reversing from the time I walked off stage. So we got into a pretty good position calorie wise, and I was still hungry. Like,
oh wow,
you could not feed me enough. And so I think that this off season, I kind of like walked into it and I was like, whatever, like I'm gonna eat whatever I want. It's not gonna do anything. So I gained weight back quicker, but I'm still hungry. Like I'm constantly hungry. It doesn't matter if I'm in prep or out of prep. Like I always want to eat.
Now, when you go in and you start training, what are you thinking when you train? Are you thinking about maybe a competitor that you've seen? I want to beat this person. Or are you just saying, I want to bring the best package that I can bring, the best of me?
Best of me.
Yeah.
I think if you start focusing on other people, you've already lost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? I was listening to a couple of pros talk the other day about music they listen to
mm-hmm.
on the way to the gym.
Right.
One of them listens to like the soundtrack to The Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Others are listening to classical music. What do you like to do? What do you like to listen? What's your routine to get focused when you're coming in to the gym?
I like to listen to true crime podcasts.
Okay,
That's
okay.
I don't listen to
That's
music.
awesome.
You don't listen to music?
Nope. Not in the gym,
Okay.
not on the way to the gym, or anything to do with fitness. I'm not listening to music. So if I'm at the gym with my headphones on, I'm probably listening to somebody's murder story. So
Wow.
That's interesting.
yeah, it just gives my brain something to do. So like I'm constantly like thinking. So giving that something to do, I'm not so like distracted, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's I was not expecting that.
Yeah, me neither.
I always feel really weird when people ask me. I'm like, no, it's literally a podcast. Like, hold on. Yeah.
But a true crime podcast.
Yeah.
It's not like you're listening, to bikini competitor. You're
Nope.
listening to, true crime.
I'm listening to Death and Destruction always.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, then, since you're listening to it, you were in the police department. I mean,
Right.
could you ever see yourself transition back into a role like that, a job like that?
I guess if I had to. So it's kind of like, I hate to compare it to the military, but like the mindset of everybody comes before you. Like the public always comes before the public servant. And in any role like that, you're always serving the public. So I think it's probably going to be kind of hard to shake in that sense. So I guess if the right opportunity and the right time happened, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, I'm going to get back on a training question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, we start, I like to start doing all my posing. As soon as I start my pre-contest, I want to start posing.
Right.
Because as soon as I step on stage, I want everything to flow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how is that for you? When do you start all your posing and work through all your transitions and things like that?
I never stop posing. I think
Okay.
I think if bikini, especially if you can find your shapes off season, you can find them on season really easy.
Okay.
So like if we can find the right way to position our body, and a lot of it's like low back mobility for us, like kind of those posterior or anterior pelvic tilt, a lot of
Yeah.
like upper and low back flexibility and ankle flexibility and all of that. So just trying to keep that as much as I can through the off season and trying to find my own shapes and kind of how my transitions would flow. So it's down to muscle memory, and all we have to do in those last couple of weeks is just make those little tweaks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit down, do you actually coach all your clients as well as posing?
Mm-hmm.
Or you just do their nutrition and workouts, or what do you do for your clients?
All of it. Yeah. Posing is a big thing. That's part of what drew me to Hannah, is because she could see me in person and physically move me the way that I needed to go. So that was cool. And I definitely want to do that for my clients. I don't want anybody to walk out on stage and feel like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. That's scary.
That's just, no, I'm going to tell you, it's just, it is kind of scary when you're, especially your very first competition.
Right.
When you step out on stage, really the lights are real bright. You really don't see a whole lot, but still you're out there and, your very first time on stage, you've got to transition. You've got to walk right.
Right.
It can be scary and intimidating.
Yeah.
Maybe not scary, but intimidating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
James, she's got it down, actually. She actually helps with the posing clinic that happens monthly. So she gets up there and teaches all the bikini girls how to pose.
Oh, yeah.
I do, yeah.
So if anybody's out there, make sure you sign up for the posing classes and go with Mikayla so she can get you squared away.
They're fun.
A little plug for that.
Oh,
yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. And let me ask you this about coaching, because I know my coach gets a little frustrated with me sometimes, and I try to be the best client I can be.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of the things that drive you a little crazy about coaching? What are the hardest things that have to deal with?
I think sometimes when you care more than they do. Every now and then, and I'm not saying like about my prep clients, but I teach mostly beginners. Like those are the people that I work with the most, or people that have never stepped foot in a gym. And sometimes it's just like they don't care. Like they don't want to be there. They don't want to like hang out. They don't want to chat. They're just like, ugh, I don't ever want to come back and do this again. And they're like that, like, you know, they'll hire you for like 3 or 4 sessions and then they'll disappear for like months and then come back. And then, you know, that can be kind of hard. But usually they have to want it for themselves, I guess. And I have to kind of learn you can't want it for them. That can be hard.
Have you ever had to fire a client?
Not yet. Oh, wait. Yes, I did. Yeah. Like, oh, I did actually. She didn't, you know, she wanted to do like 6 o'clock mornings or something. Yeah. And I'd agreed, but that meant I had to shift my workouts to like 4. But she would
4 in the morning.
Yes. She would cancel them like 5:55. So, yeah. And I have everybody sign a contract ahead that if they do that, I get their money. They pay ahead. Yeah. So I have everybody pay ahead. So if that happens, then, oh, well.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't get your time back, especially not 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, whatever.
Oh, that's so bad. Yeah. So messed up.
Yeah. And then, you know, you're sitting there, you're having to wait. They never show up. I mean, that's got to be frustrating.
Or like, oh, it's raining outside. I'm not coming in. I'm like, well, that would be freaking fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. Gosh, that's a tough one now.
Yeah, that only lasted like 3 minutes before I was like, yeah, no, we're not a right match.
Did it just happen one time into you and then that was it? Or did you
no, it was like 3 sessions because she had paid me for 4 up front. So I tried to get through those 4, and after those 4 took like 8 weeks. I was like, yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, for your clients that don't really feel motivated and you care more than they do, I mean, how do you get them motivated? I mean, what can you say to them to really drive home
you can.
that this is important?
Yeah. I don't think you can. I think that they have to want it. But what I can do is make it fun for them. Like make the workout itself not something to dread, so that maybe next time they're like, okay, well, that was actually really fun and I liked it. And like push them to progress that way, I guess, where they're like not dreading it. It's like it's more of a mindset shift, I think, that me as a trainer I can give.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, and you know, going back to the family issue, because I know what I went through my very first competition with my family, and it was kind of a tough deal. You know.
Yeah.
You know, how did you and your significant other manage through the dieting and get through all that? I mean, how did y'all sit down and have a discussion and say, hey, this is going to be this way? Or did you just do it in the moment?
I just did it.
You just did it in the moment?
Yeah. What is that saying? It's like, ask forgiveness. It's not
permission.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I kind of lived by then. So I was like, you know, he works 2 to 10. So.
Oh, he works 2 to 10?
Yeah. I mean, like, he's not even home right now. So like that chunk of the day is, I do what I want.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, kind of telling myself, I had a guy at work, you know, come and ask me because I was like 2 weeks out. I was depleted, and he's like, "Man, are you okay?" I said, "Look, I don't want to talk to you, and I don't want to talk to anybody."
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then he just kind of eased on out, you know.
Yeah.
Like, guy's crazy, you know. So I didn't know how, you know, you kind of do that in your world as a bikini competitor with your significant other, and y'all kind of talk that through. Or
I think we're probably a little more fortunate than men are in that sense, because I mean, me cutting, I'm still at like 12 or 1,500 calories, but me bulking, I'm at like 18 to 2. So it's not as much of a jump, I think, for us that it would be for like you all. It's not we don't need to get as hard. We don't need to get as lean. So, I mean, and my fats never go below 40.
Well, they don't.
Mm-mm.
How high do you take your fats?
Huh?
How high do you take your fats?
Like 60. I'm at 60 right now. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I don't know. I guess that kind of balanced everything for me. I wasn't ever like hangry. But I came close a few times if I like missed a meal or something, and then it would just be like, don't even freaking look at me. Like, just go over there and breathe in that air. I'll come back to this part later.
You know, that happened to me today. I was almost missing a meal, you know, and I got a little I had to remind myself, hey, look, this isn't life or death. It's just a meal. I'm going to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I get a little,
like life or death.
but it feels like, doesn't it? I mean, it does. It really does.
It really does. Because I mean, even just being late on a meal, I think it makes me mad. I like structure, so I'm like, no, I like it's food time. Like, you need to get me home right this second, or something bad is going to happen. It won't be pretty.
Yeah. That's the way I get. Alex,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you get that way. I've seen you. You know.
Yeah. Well, then it's rough, because then I end up cramming all my meals into the last few hours of the day, and I'm going to sleep with a huge belly.
Yeah, I'm basically the opposite. I eat everything like right first thing, and then I'm like, God, I'm so hungry. But I have to.
It's not so bad.
So I always save something for the end of the day. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Give me something to look forward to. Like, I feel like I'm getting a treat. I'm like, ooh, chocolate rice cake, good.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
You gotta satisfy
have
that
to find.
somehow.
You've got to find ways to keep yourself sane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
You know, and I think, you know, for us, you know, even when I'm in prep, I do use a cheat meal, really not as a cheat meal, but really to keep me sane.
Yeah, and I think it gives you something to look forward to.
Right.
So like I try to use my macros with things that I like, so that I don't feel
Exactly.
like I don't like seafood. So for me, I'd be like, ugh, salmon. So I always
So
go for like,
what do you diet on then? If you don't do a lot of seafood, what do you diet on when you're in prep?
I like turkey and chicken. I have a little bit of a sensitivity to red meat, so
Oh,
I don't diet on that at all, or I'll get bloated. So it's literally like poultry. And that's it. Mm-hmm.
Even in the off season, you stay away from red meat.
Sometimes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Depends on the day, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want to say yes, I stay away from red meat, because I'm sure that you could probably find a picture of me putting away a burger somewhere. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you were really lean. You look phenomenal in that Texas.
Thank you.
Now, did you have to do a lot of? Do you normally do a lot of cardio, or do you don't have to? You just manipulate everything with diet.
I actually chose to manipulate everything with cardio. Like I said, you know, I like to eat, so we used a lot of steady state so that I could keep my food. And that kind of would give me something to focus on. You know, I could turn into one of my murder casts there for like an hour on the treadmill, and
there it is.
Yeah, like I could be starving and like I hate my life right now, and go get on a treadmill for an hour, and I mean, there went an hour of my day where I'm not focused on what comes next food wise.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm still tripping out about the podcast. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I know. It's weird. I'm just like, man, I hope nobody finds my phone one day. No. I hope I don't lose it, and someone's like, oh God, a serial killer.
That's right. You know, I just think that's awesome. I just never heard people do it, you know.
Yeah.
Always like heavy metal or something, some kind of rock music or rap music.
That's what everybody thinks at the gym, is that I'm listening to music, but I've never listened to music at the gym. I just like pause it and talk. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's just who I am, I guess. Yeah.
So, hey, you know, whatever can get you motivated and get you going, that's what counts. It doesn't matter what it is.
Oh yeah, I have to have, like I said, I have to have somewhere to put my brain, or else I'm just gonna be like, oh, this sucks. Like, like pick apart everything. So yeah.
You know, a lot I hear, and this bothers me. It really does, and I kind of want to get your point of view. I was talking to a guy just the other day, and he said, you know, I just lost. You know, I lost the show. I was like, well, what place did you get? Well, I got 7th. Well, how many people were in the show? 15. I was like, to me, that's great.
Yeah, I'm like, you're solid.
You made top 10. I mean, you make top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's great. But I hear a lot of people always complain because, you know, if they didn't win, it's just the end of the world. I mean, how, you know, how do you advise your clients about placings if that comes up?
I mean, there's only going to be one number one. Like,
that's right. There's only one number one.
Yeah. And I mean, most of the classes are going to be like 7+. So, I mean, you could be the one, but the odds are more that you're not going to be the one. So, I mean, I always say you want to hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst always. Yeah. So like, I always my goal this year was I just wanted to make first call outs. So
Yeah, that's always
making
my
first
goal.
pull-outs and everything, and then
That's right.
getting top 5. I was like, well, sweet, I did it. You know, like you have to be realistic. You're not going to win like on your first go around. Well, I mean, you might, but
You could,
like I
but
said,
the odds are.
likelihood is more that you're not going to. Like,
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's exactly right. Hey, how do all the bikini? Because here's my, when I'm backstage and I'm getting ready, a lot of the bodybuilders, they're by themselves. They've got their music or podcast, listen to murders or something, and they're doing whatever. How do y'all do it in the bikini
Basically
world?
the
Y'all
same.
Same way.
Yeah, same way. Everybody's very focused. They're pumping up. They're listening to what they like, and they're worried about like if their eyelashes are glued or if the extension's showing. Yeah, trying to make sure everything's glued where it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I just appreciate you being here talking to us and letting us learn more about you and all your competitions and what you've got coming up in 2020.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to be a great year for you. I know you're going to do great. You look phenomenal in 2019.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, James, that was really cool to get an insight into the whole bikini world because you and I are really close to that world, so it was interesting to get her perspective on even something as small as the prep to get ready backstage and stuff like that. What'd you think about it?
Oh, I thought it was phenomenal. She brought up a lot of good insights to the bikini world. That, of course, you like you just said, you and I are really not in that world, so it was really neat to listen and see the things how she trains and how she gets ready for a show and how it's kind of the same but different from ours.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and she brought up a lot of good things, and I'm still tripping out about listening to the murder podcast there while she trains. I think that's interesting. I've not heard anybody say that is what they listen to when they train.
No kidding. Guys, as always, if you liked what we're doing here, please like and subscribe. And if there's anybody else you want to see us bring onto the show and find out more about, drop it in the comments below.